HNLMS De Ruyter was a Koningin Regentes-class coastal defense ship of the Royal Netherlands Navy. The ship was built by the Maatschappij voor Scheeps and Werktuigbouw Fijenoord in Rotterdam just after the turn of the 20th century. The ship participated in 2 colonial expeditions in the Dutch East Indies. She made several journeys to show the flag and was finally decommissioned in 1923. Description: the ship was 96.622 meters long, had a beam of 15.189 meters, a draft of 5.817 meters, and had a displacement of 5,002 tons. The ship was equipped with 2 shaft reciprocating engines, which were rated at 6,500 IHP and produced a top speed of 16.5 knots. The ship had belt armor of 6 in 10 in barbette armor and 10 in turret armor. The main armaments of the ship were 2 9.4 in single turret guns. Secondary armaments included 4 single 15 cm guns and 8 7.5 cm single guns. The ship had a complement of 340 men. Service history: after being laid down in 1900, De Ruyter was built by the Maatschappij voor Scheeps en Werktuigbouw Fijenoord in Rotterdam and launched on 28 September 1901. She was commissioned on 29 October 1902 and subsequently deployed to the Dutch East Indies. On 24 June 1905, HNLMS Hartog Hendrik hit a coral reef near Magedoe while en route to the Gulf of Bonny. HNLMS Zeeland made several attempts to pull the stranded ship loose, but these proved unsuccessful and were abandoned when Zeeland's bollards broke. The ship was later pulled clear after De Ruyter and Japara, a ship with towing equipment from the Koninklijke Maatschappij, arrived and Hartog Hendrik's Kale, reserves and munitions were offloaded. Later that year, De Ruyter, Hartog Hendrik, Borneo, Serdang and 2 ships of the Koninklijke Maatschappij took part in an expedition to South Celebes where they engaged in operations against the Lord of Lowo. An infantry battalion and a marine landing party were set ashore near Palop, and later that day the soldiers and marines took the Lord's Palace. In 1906, De Ruyter, along with her sister ship Koningin Regents and the protected Cruise Zeeland, assisted in an expedition to the island of Bali as part of Dutch attempts to integrate the southern kingdoms of Tabanan, Bidung and Klunkung into the Dutch East Indies. On 16 and 17 September, the ships bombarded the city of Denpasar and afterwards ground forces broke what resistance remained. On 15 December 1908, the ship left the port of Den Helder for Curaçao to reinforce the Dutch squadron that had been stationed off the Venezuelan coast following political tension between the 2 nations. Until then, the squadron had consisted of the Jacob van Heemskerk and 2 protected cruisers, the Gelderland and the Friesland. After this, the ship made 2 voyages around the Asia-Pacific to show the flag. The first began on 10 August 1909 when the ship, together with the Martin Harpert Soentramp and the Koningin Regents, departed from Batavia and sailed to China, Hong Kong, Japan and the Philippines. The second voyage was undertaken the following year, when De Ruyter and both her sister ships, Koningin Regents and Hartog Hendrik, sailed to Australia after leaving the port of Surabaya on 15 August 1910. Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney and Fremantle were included among the ports that were visited during this journey. The ship was finally decommissioned in 1923.